When I refer to places such as Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Egypt, what are the first thoughts that come to your mind? The words protest or unsafe may pop up. ATV's Noticia Aunochi reporter Roseanne DeWaver recently went on a trip to the Middle East to visit her family. Her sister, who lives in Saudi Arabia, returned with her on the trip, and I was able to sit down with her to learn more about the region. And it turns out it is nothing like what the mainstream media portrays.
For me, Saudi Arabia was a completely different experience. It's not like what you see on the news. It's not like what people tell you. It's completely different. When I went there, I was scared. I had my doubts about it, but as soon as I got there, I got used to it. I opened my mind to the people. The people are so much more different. They're nicer, they're generous than what the media tells you.
Later on in the show, Selena reveals how the people feel in regards to the media's negative portrayal of their people. Also, the women have been depicted as victims in the Middle East, but it turns out they live a very lavish lifestyle. Mainstream media in Hollywood has undoubtedly glorified places such as New York City and LA. On the other hand, there are other countries and regions American media has dubbed as scary or unsafe. A young woman who lived in Aruba most of her life, who then moved to Saudi Arabia, says what we see on TV is nothing that reflects the Middle East. Selena DeWaver lived in Aruba for 7 years before moving to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Kingdom of Bahrain. Prior to stepping foot into the Middle East, she was already hesitant.
I lived in Aruba for 7 years. I also lived in Curacao for 6. As soon as my dad told me that we were moving to Saudi Arabia, I was a bit excited but scared at the same time because I didn't know what I was going in for. I would admit that the only places I traveled to was Miami, Florida, and Orlando, and Curacao. And then when I went in there, it was a completely different place. The people were different, the way they dressed were different, the way they talked were different. It was scary. It was a little bit scary because of what I saw in the media, what people told me. But after a while, I adapted.
The people of the Middle East are angry with the way mainstream media depicts their entire population. It's true, there are protesters there, but it is a small group of them.
A lot of my friends are Muslims. Many of them actually are Muslims. Most of them are Muslims. They're very angry because that's not completely how their hometown are. A lot of them are from Egypt, Lebanon. A lot of them are Palestinians. And they find it really sad that people don't see the truth, what they see. They're angry with the media. I'm angry with the media because I see these people are nice people. They're generous people. They're caring people. And I think the media has blown what they are out of proportion.
Not everyone who lives in the Middle East is a terrorist or wants to become one. Selena says that is how the people she interacts with feels they portray them.
They're only portraying the country as terrorists, people that aren't nice people, not people that are humane, but it's completely different there.
Another aspect that the media has gone wrong is the way women are treated. It is true women in most of the Middle East do not have equal rights, but they live lavish lives in which they do not wish to trade or give up.
The women do not have equal rights there, but the women there, I have talked to many of them. Many of them have told me that they wouldn't have it any other way. Some of them don't want to drive because they have drivers for them. They live a lavish lifestyle compared to what the media tells you. They have maids, cooks, drivers. Basically, they have to do nothing. So they love their life. They choose to dress that way. It's not because the men force them to. They choose to cover up their face, cover up their eyes, cover up their hands.
On our next show, we will have both sisters encourage the people on the island to venture further beyond borders of Orlando or Miami for vacation, for instance. And broaden your horizons will be the message for the next show.